Today I'm going to show you how I make one of my best-selling spell oils in my shop, the protection oil, also known as evil eye protection oil. If you are interested in purchasing a bottle, the link is in the description, but if you want to learn how to make your own, just follow along. So the ingredients that I'm going to be using are sage and rosemary sprigs, both of these are fresh, juniper berries, and eucalyptus branches. I will also be using fractionated coconut oil as the carrier base. The rosemary and sage can be found at fine grocery stores in the fresh herbs section, and you can find juniper berries in the bulk herbs section. Eucalyptus branches can be found at Trader Joe's or flower shops. I selected these plants for both their chemical and symbolic properties, and for centuries, these have held a central place in ritual and folk medicine as agents of protection and purification. All of these are aromatic evergreens or semi-evergreens, which are plants that thrive in harsh conditions. The environments in which these plants are able to grow is where these plants have gotten their long-standing association with protection, clearing, and liminal states. They also produce very potent, terpene-rich oils that have been used across cultures for their protective qualities. When burned, steamed, or infused, these botanicals are traditionally used to clean spaces, guard against illness and decay, and address contamination. For the base, I'm using fractionated coconut oil, which is a form of coconut oil that maintains its liquefied form. It's a highly stable, neutral carrier oil that resists spoilage, and it holds aromatic compounds well. For the pot, I'm using stainless steel today, but what matters most is what not to use. Try to avoid non-stick or coated pots for infused oils. Those coatings aren't designed for long, slow heating and can degrade over time. Uncoated materials like stainless steel, cast iron, ceramic, or enamel are more stable and they are better suited for this kind of preparation. So first, I'm going to fill the pot with the herbs. Make sure they are cut down to size and can fit within the pot with the lid on. Next, you're going to pour in the fractionated oil. It's okay if there are some herbs sticking up outside of the oil, as long as you're able to get most of it covered when you stir later on. Next, you're going to simmer on low for 20 to 30 minutes, keeping the temperature gentle and steady. You have to be careful here because if the heat is too high or if you heat for too long, then you risk scorching the plant material, which will burn off the aromatics and it will create a bitter smell. 20 to 30 minutes at a gentle, steady heat is sufficient. Remember, these botanicals contain volatile compounds and they are very heat sensitive. After this, you're going to remove it from heat, leave it uncovered until it has come down to room temperature, and let it sit overnight. Depending upon how much plant material you have in your infusion, the oil may look cloudy or muddy green. That is normal and it's a good thing. As it cools and rests, the infusion will naturally clarify on its own, and by the next day, it should be a clearer green color. Place any remaining plant material into a mason jar and pour the infused mixture into your container. I activate all of my oil blends through spell work, so once the oil is strained into the mason jar and I'm ready, I begin the protection ritual. I've selected and placed a few tarot cards around the ritual space that represent defense, protection, and safeguarding. These are visual and energetic elements that I want to weave into this oil. Also within the space, I have a bowl of salt, obsidian chips, and small eyeball beads on the table. These are items that I place into the final bottles. Salt purifies, obsidian absorbs harmful influences, and the beads symbolize vigilance and protection. Candles are lit around the jar to create a shield of light, and one is placed directly on top of the sealed jar, allowed to burn completely. I also set up a perimeter of rusty nails with the points facing outwards to create an iron perimeter. Once charged and activated, each individual bottle contains a eucalyptus sprig, sea salt, obsidian, an evil eye bead, and the infused oil blend. And with each order that I send out, I include a small leaflet that explains how to use protection oil in protection rituals and spell work. If you're interested in purchasing a bottle, the link to the product is in the description. If you enjoy this content and want to see more, like the video and subscribe to the Magick Lab for esoteric deep dives, applied spellcraft, and self-empowerment through ritual and magic. Thank you for watching.